often do you find yourself frustrated because you genuinely want to change your behavior, but you just can't seem to do it? And you have this goal and you know what you should do, but you're just not doing it. What is going on there? And just like our immune system works hard to protect us from harm, our mind actually does something really similar. So today I will be sharing about the immunity to change process, what it is, and why knowing about it can actually help you figure out why you're stuck so you can end the frustration and start to focus on action instead. Now, if we have not met yet, my name is Kat, and I help people uncover the hidden reasons they're stuck so they can break free and start thriving. And I'm excited today because I want to talk about something I really care about, which is the immunity to change process. This is something I learned about 8 years ago, and it has really been a game changer for me. It gave me a whole new perspective to understand why we are stuck, even when we sincerely want to make changes. And it is by Robert Keegan and Lisa Leahy, two faculty from the Graduate School of Education at Harvard. Now, one of the core things to understand in order to understand the immunity to change process is that there are two types of challenges. And you may have heard me say this before, but there are technical and adaptive challenges. And this is when we're stuck for some reason. So we're facing one of two challenges. And a technical challenge is when we are actually missing information or skills to move forward. So we don't have the ability to move forward. But an adaptive challenge is different. This is where we are able to move forward. We know what to do and how to do it, but we're still not doing it. And this is because there's something going on with our mindset. So what actually is going on? And this is where we need to understand the idea of competing commitments. So competing commitments is when we have a commitment to change, but we also have a commitment to stay safe. In other words, our mind perceives some sort of threat that we really don't want to experience. And so we've got, on the one hand, a desire to change, and on the other hand, a desire to stay safe. And those two things butt up against each other, and they just keep us frozen. It is like having one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake. Now, what's an example? Could be, I want to start a business, but I don't want to fail publicly. Maybe I want to speak up more at work, but I don't want to be the source of conflict. Maybe I want to spend more time on my health, but I don't want to look self-centered or selfish, or like I want to put me over the people that I care about in my life. So these are examples of competing commitments that when you look at them, it kind of starts to make sense of why we might be stuck. We want the good thing, but we don't want to experience the bad thing. So what's actually going on there? Well, this is where we have to look at the idea of big assumptions. So in the immunity to change framework, we learned that every competing commitment is coming out of a place of this belief that we hold, or a big assumption that we have. In other words, a way that we see the world that says, ooh, do not go there. If I take action, something bad might happen. And we want to make sure that we are staying safe. So if we think about some of these examples, like I want to start a business, but I don't want to fail. Well, we might have a big assumption about the probability or the likelihood that we'll fail. Or maybe, even though we know that we're not 100% guaranteed to fail, we're worried that if I fail, I might not recover from it. This might be the thing that just ends people's trust in me. And so I can't actually risk that. If we take a look at the next example of I want to speak up more at work, but I don't want to be a source of conflict. There might be an assumption that you have around this idea that if I have differing opinions or I don't agree with my coworkers, that it's going to slow down the process and it's going to be problematic in the workplace. So that could be an assumption that's making you think I need to stay quiet instead. When we think about our health, spending more time on my health might look selfish because maybe I have a belief that I should be putting other people ahead of myself, that the people who I care about in my life, they deserve to be looked after first before I look after myself. So these are some examples of some of the assumptions that we might be holding but not necessarily even know because we haven't taken a really good look at them. But then what happens? Let's say we figure this out. Now we need to challenge these assumptions because these are limiting beliefs that are stopping us from taking action. And we want to say, first, what is the assumption? And then second, how valid is it? Is it true that if I fail with my business idea that I can't recover? Or is there evidence to the contrary that actually I am resilient and I will be okay and people are on my side? When it comes to in the workplace, if I have this assumption that having differing opinions or ideas somehow slows everything down and is problematic, when in actual fact, maybe having different opinions and diverse ideas helps build a better product in the end. And maybe when you think about health, you realize if I do commit some time to myself, I'm going to be more present and happier and in a better mood when I'm with the people I care about. Maybe it's not that selfish. So these are all the types of things that we can start to do when we actually identify what's that competing commitment and what's the assumption that is driving it. And how do we actually do this? So in the immunity to change process, there's something that's called an immunity map. And the immunity map is a step-by-step process that asks the right questions in the right order in order for you to identify these beliefs, these assumptions, so that then you can take action towards testing whether they're true. Because once we start to realize that these assumptions maybe aren't as valid as we once thought, we start to get freedom from them. And then we start to be able to move forward and actually take action without stopping ourselves in our tracks. Now, what's the whole reason that I am sharing this with you today? What's sort of the big takeaway? Well, I want you to know that when you sincerely want to change and you're struggling to do so, first of all, you're facing an adaptive challenge. Your immune system is trying to protect you from something bad happening. We don't want you to go there. So really, our immune system, it's doing its best and it means well, but it's keeping you stuck. And so when you know this, you can stop being so hard on yourself and you can start to get curious instead. And immunity to change is one of the tools that I use to help people uncover why they are stuck, including something that I use in my small group program, Thrive from the Inside. And my fall program is starting up really soon. If this is the type of thing that you want to experience, is identifying these different beliefs and then getting unstuck, then definitely talk to me. There's details below. I want you to stop being frustrated and to start taking action. And I would love to have you come along with me. Also, if you are interested in personal development and you find this type of content valuable, I encourage you to subscribe and get notifications for more videos like this.